Hello, Feuzion Nation. My name is Alex Fuse, the host of Fusion News. I want to say thank you for joining me on this great Valentine's Day. I'm here in upstate New York, and I am joined right now by Ethan Chapman. He is a baseball player for one of the big 30 league clubs down there in Mexico. So, Ethan, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. Now, Ethan, I know before the show, the team you play for is Vaqueros Laguna, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes, Vaqueros Laguna.
I got that right, folks. See that? Now, that's a big accomplishment. And Ethan, what is it like playing down there in Mexico?
Well, as of right now, this is gonna be my first time going down
Oh,
there, so I'll be learning on the go. So I've been in the states. I was with the Royals and the Phillies,
wow.
and did about a year or so in independent ball.
Mhm.
And now I got a contract, lucky enough to get a contract to play down there. So it's gonna be an exciting time, and kind of got to learn on the fly.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. And what was it like playing up here in the States with the Royals, like you said, and those other teams?
Oh, it's amazing. There's so much talent, even like in the whole world. Baseball's getting so big now, and all over all different types of countries. And the U.S. has definitely developed their game, and it's awesome to play around here. And met a lot of good people, and the Royals organization was amazing. Same with the Phillies, and I'm still in contact with a lot of the players and the people in the front office.
Now, of course, you probably been on a few teams, and what was your favorite player on those teams? Someone that you always laughed with and had fun with. Who was that guy that you always had a lot of fun with in the clubhouse?
Oh man, there's so many. There's one of my good friends is Lane Adams. Me and him have a good time together with a lot of laughs. And he's I think he's with the Braves right now, but he did a short stint with the Yankees as well after the Royals. So there's just so many good buddies that you spend so much time with, and that you spend every day with them, and for probably 10 hours a day. So you develop those kind of tight relationships. And I've been in a couple of guys' weddings, and it's just been a great family. The baseball world is a good family.
Yeah, for sure. And this baseball community is so close together here in upstate New York, and there's a lot of Yankee fans, Mets fans around the area. So with you going down to play in Mexico, are you going to be keeping track of the standings here in the States, or are you just going to be like, I'll just focus on my game here?
No, I'm always got an eye on all my friends that are playing still in the States, and I'm a big baseball fan anyways. So I got to keep my eye on my favorite teams and how they're doing, and obviously my friends, and hoping that they have a good season.
Now, Ethan, before we go further into the interview about your career as a baseball player, I have to ask if last week the MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said that they're going to be testing out this new rule to be placed in the lower levels of the minor league baseball teams to really try out a shadow runner on second base in the extra innings. Now, what are your thoughts on this new rule that possibly could be placed in the MLB?
I'm not a huge fan of it, and there's just some things that I might not understand about it. And as far as whose earned run that would be if that guy scores, it doesn't count as a earned run or a loss for the pitcher, or if the runner gets a run scored on his stats. A lot of statistical stuff I don't really understand about how they would decide those things. But being a baseball fan, there's so many things that go through my head as I'm watching the game in between pitches. So to me, the game is fast enough as it is, and I think people want it to be sped up, but I think we should teach how to watch and how to play the game properly, and maybe that would help with the speed of the game as well.
Now, Nathan, you talk about growing up as a baseball fan, and I had asked you, what when you were watching the baseball when you were growing up, what did you fall in love with it most, and what do you love about baseball the most?
That's everything, man. It's the sounds, the smells, the passion that all these guys play with. And even with the World Baseball Classic coming up, you'll see all these guys have so much pride for where they're from, and just playing with so much passion. And that's the true love of baseball and America's pastime. Just the history of it and the passion that it's played with.
Now, there's a lot of kids in my school that say, you watch baseball, that's boring. And I'm like, you're crazy. I love watching baseball. I usually watch, I watch highlights, but I watch, the Yankee games, pretty much the whole game. Now, if you were, approached by this fan that says, or not a fan actually, that says, "Why are you a baseball player? It's boring," or "Why do you like watching baseball?" What would you say to them to try to get them to watch baseball?
As I kind of mentioned before, I think it's about understanding what goes on in between the pitches, because I feel like everyone just focuses on people making contact and the hits and stuff like that. Well, there's so much goes on in between there that, as a player, I try to understand and I try to observe. And as far as like the pitcher and what he's doing, how he's holding the baseball, how the outfield's playing, and there's just so many details that go into it that not the average consumer knows about. So I think about educating them about the in-between stuff and the knowledge that needs to be about in between the pitches. I feel like that adds a little more value to the game and a little bit more attention on the details is what matters.
Now, Ethan, I follow you on Twitter now, and you really are really faithful, and I really like that you are big with faith. So how does that play into your game of baseball?
It has everything to do with it, and it's faith is a constant grind. You know what I mean? We get going in a good way, and then we can slip out of it. But it's about getting back on track. And, baseball is the same way. You can go through a hot streak of getting a hit every at bat, and all of a sudden you don't get a hit for a couple games. But it's about having that confidence and that faith about that. You put the work in, and same thing with my spiritual faith. It's a constant grind and a constant focus of my life, and it's really helped me through some of the ups and downs of baseball. I feel like baseball is so much of a failure sport. If you fail 7 times out of 10, you're an all-star. So, to deal with that failure and, faith really helps with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, this is one of the reasons why I love baseball so much. It's just such a great sport. I love watching it and just covering it here on my show. Now, I have to ask, what was the best advice you have ever received in your career as a baseball player?
Ooh, that's a tough one. There's been so many different people that have dropped knowledge on me that have so much experience, and probably just to keep it fun, and to keep swinging and not to overthink. That we put so much thought and so much precision into our craft that we forget that it's a game, and to go out and have fun and relax and trust our abilities. That we focus so much on the tiny things that could be wrong or right with our swing or our pitching or whatever, and we forget that we are talented, and it's God-given talent, and sometimes just to lean on that and relax and have fun.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Ethan, before we wrap up this Feuzion News interview, I have to ask, of course, you said you're a big baseball fan, so who do you have in the World Series and potential win the World Series this year?
There's a bunch of good teams out there right now. I know Boston's looking really good, but I'm a hometown fan of the Angels, so I hope that they figure it out and they go pretty far, because I'm a big Angels fan. I have been for about since before they won the World Series in 2002. I was actually lucky enough to go to 3 of those World Series games. Wow. So that's kind of where my passion for the Angels and for baseball even started.
Oh yeah, the Mike Trout fans of all over there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ethan, I want to say thank you for coming on my show tonight, and I hope to have you back on maybe later in the season to talk some baseball and how you're doing, and I wish you the best of luck down there playing in Mexico.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to it.
No problem. Anytime. Okay, Fuse Nation, you just saw that great interview with Ethan Chapman. He is a baseball player outfielder down there in Mexico. Okay, Fuse Nation, I'll be back here live later tonight. 2 more shows. Greg Allman and Nick Coit talk about the Super Bowl, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, WWE, and more. Hopefully I find my voice somewhere in this studio. Fuse Nation, thanks for watching. I will see you later tonight. Thanks for watching.